Alright guys, Blues2099 here. Have a little rant for you uh, about guns and people who should and should not have guns. A gun is very much a tool, and it takes a certain mental disposition in order to effectively use that tool. Uh, Owning a hammer doesn't make you a carpenter. Uh, there are those of us that live by the sword, and those of us that die by the sword, and those of us that shouldn't have had a sword in the first place. Uh, Having a gun doesn't make you safe. In fact, I think it makes some of you more of a liability than it makes you an asset. Uh, I'm a former military man. I have been trained in the use of that tool. Uh, when you pick up a firearm, you buy a firearm. You have to accept uh, that your life's changing. A lot of people don't really accept that. When you buy that tool, you accept a job, and you kind of have to have the mental mindset to do that job. If you really sit down and think about it, are you willing to take a human life? Because that's all that tool is for. Uh, if I say human life, are you willing to take a life? Because that's what that tool is for. Um, if you're not sure, you probably need to do some thinking. Now, I firmly believe that everybody should, you know, protect themselves. Um, but there's a lifestyle change that comes along with a firearm. Now, if you decide that you do have the mental fortitude to use that tool for its intended purpose and accept the job that you've taken upon yourself, then you need training. Uh, Shooting at a paper target is not it ain't it ain't the same. You really need to get some professional instruction. For starters, a concealed carry class. Concealed carry class will teach you an awful lot about what it means to employ a firearm against another human being. Anyway, there's lots of places out there, you know, gun sight and frontline various places that offer uh, training that's more in the realm of military and law enforcement kind of shooting. And you know they're expensive, but they're worth the money. Uh, you know, if you don't have the luxury of being, you know, law enforcement or military trained, uh, to get that kind of to get the kind of things that's going to happen down in your mind when you lots of things can happen, lots of bad things can happen real fast, and you need to prepare yourself for that ahead of time. You know, adrenaline's going to kill your fine motor skills. You're not going to be able to do a lot of the things that target practicing requires. Bench rest shooting is not it's not killing. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Can't think of a nicer way to say that. Um, but the you play like you practice and you practice like you play. So it you're going to spend countless hours with an individual firearm if you want to depend your life and the life of others on it. You're going to spend countless rounds of ammunition. You're going to do things that you wouldn't normally think you would have to do. Shooting with your weak hand is one that's often overlooked. Uh, what else? You know, shooting from odd positions. You know, you're not always going to get to stand up and just. You don't always get to do that for various reasons. If you know if the assailant's close up on you, you know you might only be able to come from the holster and fire, uh, and you kind of have to train for that. I mean, you can shoot yourself in the hand or various other things that you know you have to think about, and you have to incorporate that into your training. If you don't do that, you run the risk of failing at a moment of crisis. And I mean, what it really comes down to is, are your family and your life worth the extra time that it takes to get some real training? Because it's really what you need. I forgot where I was going with this, but I guess owning a gun doesn't make you a warrior any more than owning a hammer makes you a carpenter, or owning a plunger makes you a plumber. Uh, it's there's a line in a movie. It's an Arlie Ermy line in a movie. It's you know, it's a hard heart that kills, and you really have to get into that mindset before you know go out and assume that you're as good as you want you to be. Life's not an action movie. Firefights don't happen like you see on TV. Uh, I guess is really what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's my training rant for you. Uh, it's Blues 2099. If you I'm out. So keep your powder dry and your head on a swivel.